All right, so let's dive into this news. Have you ever come across a story that just signals like a huge shift? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, that's exactly how I felt when I heard that BBVA, a major Spanish bank, got the go-ahead to offer Bitcoin and Ether trading right there in Spain.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just like another little thing happening in the crypto world. It feels more like a real merging of, traditional finance with digital assets.
I see what you mean, yeah.
And I think you, as someone who really keeps up with these important trends, will find this pretty fascinating.
Definitely. I think for anyone listening who wants to understand what's really going on, this move by BBVA goes way beyond just one bank adding a new feature.
Right.
It's more like a fundamental change in how the big players in finance are approaching cryptocurrencies. They're starting to make them a core part of what they offer.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And so in this deep dive, we're going to break down what this authorization really means, not just for BBVA, but for the entire financial world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've been looking closely at BBVA's plans and, how they got the approval from regulators. So let's jump right in. What exactly has been announced?
So the key thing here is that BBVA has gotten the official okay from the Spanish securities regulator. That's the CNMV, which is basically Spain's financial watchdog.
Okay.
And they've been authorized to offer trading services for both Bitcoin, that's BTC, and Ether, ETH.
Got it. So they're not just talking about it, they've actually been given the green light.
Exactly. It's official.
So what kind of services will they be offering? Is it just like the simple stuff, buying and selling?
No, it goes beyond that. They're integrating this directly into their mobile app so customers can buy, sell, and most importantly, manage their Bitcoin and Ether transactions securely, all within the app.
Oh, interesting. So they're taking care of the security aspect as well.
Yes, which really points to them offering custodial services, at least initially.
Okay, so it's all built into their banking app. It sounds pretty user-friendly, but this isn't going to be available to everyone in Spain right away, right?
You're right. They're rolling it out in stages. First, they're starting with a small group of customers. It's a common strategy,
Yeah.
It's like a pilot program to test the service, get some feedback, and work out any kinks before they launch it to the public in Spain.
Yeah, that makes sense. A cautious approach. Now, the fact that this is happening in Spain, which is part of the EU, seems pretty important. It's not just some isolated event. It's happening within a large economic and regulatory zone.
Exactly. It's significant because being in the EU, it means this whole thing operates under EU financial regulations.
Right.
And there's some upcoming EU legislation that this ties into, which we'll talk about a bit later.
Okay, so we've covered the what. Now let's get into the why.
Right.
Why is BBVA doing this? And why start specifically with Bitcoin and Ether?
It seems like they chose Bitcoin and Ether for a reason. You see, these two make up a big chunk of the cryptocurrency market in terms of their value.
Okay.
Bitcoin is often seen as like a digital version of gold.
Yeah.
Store of value. And it also works as a way to make payments directly to other people.
Peer-to-peer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Ethereum, it's not just a cryptocurrency. It's like a platform where you can build all sorts of things.
Okay.
Decentralized applications, we call them DApps, and smart contracts. Think of it like Ethereum is not just digital money, but the foundation for all these other digital services and agreements.
I see. So by offering these two, they're covering the most well-established parts of the crypto world, right?
Exactly. They're addressing the most diverse areas within the current crypto landscape.
So it's a strategic choice. Now, is this all just about, jumping on the crypto bandwagon, or is there a bigger picture to their strategy?
Well, from what we can see, a big part of their plan is to make sure everything's super secure and follows all the regulations.
Makes sense.
They're really emphasizing their commitment to working closely with regulators, which is super important for a bank, especially one of this size, stepping into the crypto world.
Absolutely. They need to make sure they're ticking all the boxes legally and security-wise.
Exactly. They can't afford to take any risks there.
Now, BBVA isn't exactly a newbie to crypto, are they? I remember reading about some of their activities in other places.
Oh, that's a really important point. BBVA has actually been dabbling in crypto services in other regions for a while now.
Okay.
They started in Switzerland back in 2021.
Right.
And then in Turkey through Garanti BBVA. That was in 2023.
So they've got some experience under their belt already.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that in those regions, they're offering a wider range of digital assets. They have USDC, Solana, Ripple, Avalanche, even Chilis.
Wow, so they're already familiar with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies? That puts their move into Spain in a new light. It's not their first time at the rodeo.
Exactly.
But it's still not clear if or when they might expand their offerings in Spain beyond just Bitcoin and Ether, right?
Right. For now, the authorization and the initial rollout in Spain are specifically for Bitcoin and Ether. No word yet on when or if they plan to add other cryptocurrencies there.
Okay, so Spain is kind of like their testing ground for the EU. Got it. Now let's zoom out a bit. Is BBVA the only big financial institution offering crypto services, or are others starting to do the same?
This is actually part of a much bigger global trend.
Okay.
We're seeing other heavy hitters in finance, like Deutsche Bank and Société Générale, also getting involved in crypto. They're offering different services.
So it seems like traditional finance is realizing that they can't ignore crypto anymore. It's becoming a part of the financial landscape.
Exactly. It's like they're starting to see digital assets as a core part of the whole financial system.
And this move by BBVA in Spain happens to coincide with a pretty big piece of EU legislation, doesn't it? The MiCA regulation.
Yes, the timing is really significant. BBVA got this authorization right as the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, or MiCA, is being rolled out across the EU. MiCA is all about creating a standard set of rules for crypto assets across the entire EU.
Okay.
It's basically providing more legal clarity and making things more predictable for both companies offering crypto services and for consumers.
So it's like a framework for everyone to operate within.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And BBVA getting this authorization now shows that they're being proactive. They want to be in line with this new regulatory environment.
It seems like MiCA gave them the confidence to go ahead with this, knowing that the rules are now clear across the EU.
Precisely. It's like everyone knows the rules of the game now.
So MiCA is making it less risky for established institutions to get into crypto within the EU.
Yeah.
And considering how big BBVA is, this could have a ripple effect, right?
Absolutely. BBVA is a major player, not just in Europe, but globally.
Yeah.
We're talking almost 6,000 branches in over 30 countries, more than 120,000 employees, around 70 million customers worldwide. Their operations are in Europe, South America, and Turkey.
Wow, they're huge.
So for a bank of this size to embrace crypto trading in the EU, it could really encourage other European banks to follow suit.
Yeah, it could be a game changer.
It has the potential to make digital assets much more mainstream. More people would have access to them.
It's like when one big tech company adopts a new technology, and then everyone else scrambles to catch up.
Exactly. It sets a trend.
And they specifically mentioned that BBVA is the first large bank to get a MiCA-compatible license. That's a pretty big achievement in itself.
Oh, absolutely. Being the first big institution to navigate the MiCA framework and get approval, it gives them a head start.
Yeah.
And it shows the whole financial industry that working with cryptocurrencies within the EU regulations is doable. And not just doable, but being done by one of the major players.
Right. They're setting an example. And it seems like their focus is on regular retail customers, not just the big institutional investors.
That's right. It looks like they're targeting everyday investors, the ones who usually invest smaller amounts.
Okay.
This shows that they want to make crypto accessible to more people, to a wider range of people.
Which makes sense, considering they're integrating it into their easy-to-use mobile app, and they're handling the security of the Bitcoin and Ether themselves, at least for now.
Yes, the reports indicate that they're using their own in-house custodial solution. Basically, they're taking responsibility for securely storing the Bitcoin and Ether for their customers.
Okay.
This approach, making everything accessible within their app, is designed to make it easier for people who are interested in crypto trading to get started.
So, to sum it all up, a big Spanish bank, BBVA, has gotten the green light to offer Bitcoin and Ether trading to their customers in Spain, all through their mobile app. They're starting with a small group, but their experience in other markets and being the first big bank with a MiCA-compatible license, it really suggests this could be a turning point for crypto adoption in Europe.
Absolutely. This move by a major financial institution shows us that the traditional banking world and the exciting world of digital assets are getting closer and closer, and it's all happening within a clearer regulatory framework.
So, for everyone listening, think about what this means in the bigger picture. What happens when established banks like BBVA start working directly with cryptocurrencies for their customers? Could this change the world of personal finance and investments in the next few years? What questions does this raise for you about how digital assets and traditional banking are going to interact as they become more connected? There's a lot to think about here.
Definitely.
And that's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.